This might be the worst trade in NBA history. I say that not gracefully. I say it adamantly because this move really doesn't move the needle for the Clippers. Honestly, what James Harden brings, he led the league last year in assists with the 76ers. Well, Russell Westbrook has led the league a time or two before in assists. He led the league in triple doubles at one point, 3 or 4 times out of his career. So, and then you look at these first few games with the Clippers. He had like 11 assists one of the games that the Clippers actually won. They're 2-1 currently as we speak. But still, he led in assists one of the games that the Clippers had won with 11 assists, and he had double-digit points and almost double-digit rebounds. So my point is, you're not getting anything in James Harden that you really don't have in Russ, or so far the way Russ has played. Now, maybe a little less turnover worthy, maybe, but I don't really think that's even that much of a difference there. And totality-wise, I don't really think he's a better player now in his career than Russ is in regards to what Russ brings you. Russ brings you effort. He brings you energy. Like I said, he does turn the ball over a lot, but James Harden has been known to turn the ball over some. And look at some of his years in Houston. He's played at a high clip, but he's also had some downfalls to his game like every other player. So, honestly, at this point, I think Russ is more valuable than James Harden. And now my thing is, where are you going to find the time to insert Russ? Is Russ coming off the bench with the second unit? He might work well with them, but the Lakers tried that and it didn't work out. But maybe, Clippers might have better success if that's what Ty Lue plans on doing, because now what you've done, you've added another ball dominant player. You see, when you think about the Clippers now, which is one reason why I said that it might not work with James Harden, is because now you have a fourth ball dominant type player. Kawhi and PG already ISO type players. Then, Russ, he dominates the ball to a degree because the ball needs to be in his hands for him to be active. He's not like a run around catch and shoot guy who can shoot threes. He shoots piss poor from three throughout his career. He's one of the worst 3-point shooters like the NBA has seen percentage wise. But, this year he's been doing pretty good, shooting about 40-50% from the field from three this year so far. But of course, there's a lot of season left. But my point is, you'd be taking the ball out of Russ's hands to put in James Harden. James Harden can make good decisions, no doubt. He led the league in assists. He definitely can make good decisions, but at the same time, he's not the player he once was. So the impact that he'll have on the game is not going to be like it was, and especially with three other star players on the team, including himself, and he's not even the main guy. So my thing is, like, the distribution of the ball, how's that going to work? How's it going to work with Russ coming in and out? Is he coming off the bench? Where does Terrence Mann fall in regards to how you play him now when he comes back off his ankle injury? And then, Bones Highland, he's another one. Where does he play at in this situation? How does he get his minutes, or how does he, have any effect on the game, or is his minutes reduced even shorter? Of course, more sacrifices got to be made the more star power you add to a team, but I just don't think the Clippers really needed James Harden. Like I said, he can give him a lot of assists and things like that, but there are going to be times where you need James Harden to step up and be that big name player that he is still in regards to his name. And like I said, we all know James Harden chokes in the playoffs. I've said it before. I stand on that. He has a wide reputation for that, choking in the playoffs, not coming up big when you need him to. He's had big playoff moments, don't get me wrong, but it's not consistent enough, or never was consistent enough to get his teams over the hump in regards to winning a championship. But like I said, I just don't think the fit is there. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Russ fits more with the Clippers than James Harden does. So I think, honestly, the Clippers would have just been fine leaving it the way they had it, with the three guys they got. Because it's like, none of them, I feel like eventually they would have figured out a way, not to step in each other's way and build more chemistry. Adding James Harden is like just adding another problem, a diva to your situation, which is going to make your situation all for the worse, not for the better. And then when you think about like what they gave up, they gave up Marcus Morris, Nicholas Batum, Kenyon Martin Jr., and they gave up Robert Covington, and like 3 or 4 picks. That's a lot you gave up for James Harden and a PJ Tucker, who's pretty much, not quite the same defensive player he used to be. He's still kind of tough, I think. I feel like his jump shot, I feel like his 3-pointer has waned too, because I've looked at some games with Philly and that corner three that he used to be automatic with, I thought, or I felt like he was automatic with at one time. It just doesn't fall for him as much now. So it's like, it's almost like you got a Marcus Morris caliber type player in him. And you got rid of Marcus Morris to get rid of that type of player, but you got the same player in return. You might as well just kept Marcus Morris, if you ask me, if you're going to get PJ Tucker, because they're pretty much in the same predicament. Like I said, before, Marcus Morris I feel like he was a better player years ago, and rightfully so. He was, defender, two-way player, all that, but his time is pretty much, done now. Same thing with, PJ Tucker. So like I said, you're not getting that. That's like a cancel out. You're not upgrading anywhere there. And then James Harden, a ball dominant guy who can pass the ball. Well, Russ can be ball dominant and pass the ball. So, I mean, it's like you're not upgrading anywhere there. Only way you can say you upgrade maybe is shooting wise, because James Harden catch and shoot was a lot more lethal than Russell Westbrook. And I will say that might be a balance out right there. But I mean, the player, what type of player you getting out of James Harden is the thing. What type of motivation are you getting out of him? Is it a motivated James Harden, or is it one that's just coming to, play where he wants to, and if it doesn't work out, he just becomes a diva and blow this team up too? It's so many variables with James Harden. You just don't know what you're getting, and I like to know what I'm getting out of players. I know what I'm getting out of Russ, whether he struggles or plays well. I know what I'm getting out of Russ every single night that he plays. So, I mean, to take away from Russ to give James Harden, possibly, more of those minutes in that time, and as the point guard, I just think they're making a mistake there, and I think they might have gave up some valuable pieces. I wouldn't have gave up Robert Covington. Robert Covington is a defensive guy, a two-way player who bothers a lot of people. I mean, just the other night, when they played the Spurs, Victor Wembanyama, he was guarded by Robert Covington and a little bit of Kawhi here and there, and they did very good on him. He didn't have much production, against the Clippers, even though he's young, but still they neutralized, some of his, attributes and what he does well. And that's why I said giving a player like him is just, it's not good. It doesn't make any sense to me. And even, Nicholas Batum, I would have kept Batum as well, because he still, can guard pretty well at his age. He still is a knockdown shooter, and he's reliable, what I'm saying? And, he's been there with the Clippers. He understands the culture. He understands what his role is. I wouldn't have traded him either. Maybe Kenyon Martin Jr. Yeah, I definitely probably would have traded him. I don't really think he's any fucking good anyway. I think he's just a dunker, at the most. He'll dunk and, do a highlight here and there like his dad. His dad was trash to me, honestly. But, regardless, you did what you did. You gave up what you gave up. And I just think it's a dumb idea. I think it was a dumb trade. I really do. I think it's not. I really hope for the best, but I don't see the best coming out of this situation. And that's pretty much my take on it, because you gave up pieces that, well, Robert Covington and Nicholas Batum specifically, you gave up pieces that I think, you should have kept, that could have served you more value long term than what James Harden might serve you, which is more like short-term value. I don't think James Harden's going to give you long-term value, because if that's the case, he would have been in the finals or won championships prior to this team, but that's not the case. So the Clippers might reap what they sow on this one, but either way, the trade is done. We just got to see how it works out, but I wouldn't be surprised either way, you just got to hope for the best is all I can say. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments, and we'll talk about it.